Hello, my name's John, this is Johann Strehn, and you're watching War Games, Models and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to part 2 of painting Johann Strehn, the little running character from the Warhammer Giant kit. I've been umming and ahhing about what colours to paint this chap, and I've decided that I'm going to go quite simple. I'm going to leave his leggings in that white that they're finished in, and his tunic is going to be painted in red. So that's what I'm going to start doing, and what I'm going to do is start off with a contrast paint. So let's just shake that up. And the plan is contrast paint followed by some dry brushing just to bring up a few extra colours, and then some ink washes over the top. So contrast paint, really great for base coats as it can go on really quickly, and then it fills in all those different kind of layered colours to save quite a bit of time when it comes to painting the colours. But I do like to add the layers of dry brushing and so on to it. Now I was trying to come up with a few different colour schemes for this guy, and I realised that my go-to when it comes to Warhammer humans is a red and white scheme if I can't think of anything else to do, which is alright I suppose, but I don't know where I've got it from. I'll have to have a look back in my old white dwarfs to see if there is a red and white scheme that has subconsciously kind of impacted on what I like to paint. But like I said, this is just a nice simple one. I do have quite a lot on my painting pile at the moment, so I'm looking to do quite a few projects soon to get them finished. I think at the moment I do actually have too many projects on the go, which does happen, especially when, like myself, I keep coming up with different ideas and I have to very quickly put them together rather than just leave them until I've got a chance to kind of start and finish them. So I do have many projects that I've started and not finished, but hey, that is a fundamental part of my hobby. So when it comes down to it, it's not something that I worry too much about. But it would be nice to finish some things. So as you watch this video, this is the first video to be published in July. Now I'm planning to have a break from producing videos over August. I say planning because I may change my mind as July goes through, but it's nice to have a bit of a break now and again. And I have to say, I'm quite surprised at the number of people who have started following the channel. As of recording this, nearly at 1,000 followers, which I appreciate a lot. It's not something I go out to do to gain followers on this platform. It's just a platform I like to record all my different hobby items. So thank you very much to everyone who is joining me on my meandering adventure through my hobby. Over August, when I do have, will most likely have a break from producing content. I'll be coming up with a few more ideas for things to produce. So if you do have any ideas or want to see something in more detail that I've produced, please put it in the comments. I'm really happy to create specific kind of content for people if it's answering questions and things like that. I apologise if this has gone out of focus while I've been painting it. Right, what I'm going to quickly do, after cleaning my brush, I'm going to go grab the hairdryer so I can dry this off. So a very valid comment a while ago about my use of the hairdryer to speed it up is the noise is not necessarily the nicest to come across on camera. So when I switch this on, I'll put another noise on while I dry it all off, and I'll speak to you in a minute. Loud noises! Okay, so there we have the main tunic on there. There is a little bit of shine to it, which I will knock back with some washes later on. But what I want to do now is just get some more colour into this. So I'm going to go for some Evil Sun Scarlet. Let me get a dry brush. Let's get a smaller one on that one. So I've got two dry brushing layers that I want to put on. There we go. One is this scarlet, and then the other is an orange. Let's get the paint on the brush and get the paint off the brush. Okay. Now the key thing I have noticed with the contrast paint, especially when you speed dry it with a hairdryer, is there is a risk of it rubbing off if you do a dry brush straight onto it. So normally, if I'm not recording a video and I'm not doing it in real time like I'm doing now, I will let it dry for a lot longer so I don't risk wearing off any of that paint early on. I can easily paint over and fix it, so I'm not too worried. I really do need to buy some new dry brushes, but hey ho. Right, next I'm going to use Troll Slayer Orange just to pick out a few areas of wear on the tunic. So if this comes out too bright, what I can do is knock it back with some red wash or red ink. What I do find is this will knock back some of the shine. There we go. So after August, when I have my little break, I'm thinking about theming the videos for each month. So it's a selection of videos on either one subject or one type of video, whether it's painting, making, whatever. Just so there's a few tie-ins. So I'm going to probably do an experiment in September, which is going to be a themed month of materials and videos. So let me just go and sort the dog out. And my Whippet likes to sit on the sofa and be wrapped in a blanket, and he'll stand there making a lot of noise until I put the blanket over him. So that's what I just did. So let's find white paint. Has that one been opened? That one has been opened. So I want to make sure I just bring out the little tie, the the ties on the front of his tunic. So I'm going to paint them out in white, and then let's give that a bit of a shake. And then once that's dry, I'll put a wash over the top of it. Just so I can pick that out with a wash later on. Okay. So, one idea I have also had with this character is he is always running away. He is always very scared. So, I've got some old sapphire paint, some of the ink washes. I'm going to get a bit of that, and I've decided he's going to have wet himself in fear, just add a little bit of narrative to it. So in the many times that Johann has run away, he hasn't necessarily cleaned his breeches. So not necessarily the done thing to paint, but it's my model. And then I've got some Agrax Earthshade, and you can take a guess where I'm going to put this as a bit of a wash. Again, entirely down to personal preference, but I thought it adds a little bit of narrative to this character who is always running away. There we go. Okay, let's just draw some of that paint out of there. Don't want too much of the wash at the front. Okay, so next job, a little bit of loud noise again while I use the hairdryer. Right, and the next step, I'm going to find, I've got a red wash. I've got some Bal Red, which isn't available anymore. It hasn't been for quite some time. I'll put on the screen the current version of it. I keep forgetting its name. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this to paint over the top of the tunic. This will knock some of the shine off, as well as bring out a little bit of colour. Yeah, I don't seem to get as much time to paint at the moment. I really want to do more painting again because I really do enjoy it, which is why I'm thinking about, after my summer break, having themed months. So, because I have an awful lot of things on the to paint pile, so having a month where I have to paint certain models, whether that's like a Warhammer 40,000 painting theme, or Necromunda, or Old World, or anything else, I think it'll help me get my list of projects kind of finished. Yeah, like I said before, if you've got any suggestions or requests for painting videos, please drop a comment. I'm always open to comments and suggestions. Okay, that's looking good. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to base this guy. I think I'll do another video on basing this guy as a generic basing video. I've done bases for Warhammer 40,000 and things like that, but when it comes to Warhammer and Old World, I do slightly different bases, because obviously the setting, the scenery isn't as apocalyptic and destroyed, so I do like to put kind of more lively bases on these things, so grasses and things like that. Okay, I'm going to put one more wash onto things, and this is going to be my old favourite of Devlin Mud. I'm aware that Agrax Earthshade is its equivalent, but I've got a special place for the Devlin Mud. So I'm going to just go over the front of his tunic there with a bit of Devlin Mud. Just going to dirty up his knees there and the backs of his legs. Okay, and now that's done, an almost finished Nuln Oil, and I'm going to use this just to pick out any final details. It's amazing how a little bit of Nuln Oil can really change the finish and quality of a simple paint scheme. I have before just used washes of Nuln Oil and things like that to paint a miniature. I have an idea for a miniature soon, which is just going to be in Nuln Oil, so stay tuned for that one. It's either going to work or it's going to go horrifically wrong, but we shall see. So I'm being a bit haphazard when it comes to that, but okay. So let's zoom in a little bit on this guy. So I will let this dry naturally now, but as you can see, we have the little running man, Johann, all in his red jacket, his soiled trousers, all done. I've got to do the base like I said, but I'll do another little video of that. I'll do a part 3 in the not too distant future. I'll put some photos up of him at the end of the video when he's completely dry. But for now, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the new followers on the channel. I'll see you on the next video. My name's John, and you've been watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies.